Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from today. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week and Thursday so far. Just to make sure that you can see and hear us, please find the chat and let us know where you are joining us from today. Perhaps you'll find somebody in your community who also uses SEO ranking, and you will be able to take this opportunity to connect. While you are doing that, let me just tell you that we have a really awesome workshop planned for you today, and we're going to be diving into that in just a couple of moments. But in case this is the first time you're joining one of our digital events, welcome. We hold our webinars, roundtables, workshops, and onboarding days to share some insightful and actionable information with the SEO community, help you make the most of our tools, and hopefully give you some takeaways that will help you increase the traffic to your website. All right, let me just look at that chat, and I see hello from Sweden, from Belgium, from Portugal, from Germany, from all over Europe. Great to have you with us. Today we're going to be talking about discovering hidden gems in your SEO using SEO ranking's powerful features. So this is the main event. So we're just going to be helping you sort of show the things that maybe you have missed, overlooked within the platform, and to help us with this. We have Mike Korenugin, and let me just say that I'm the host of today's event, but you're not here for me. And here's our host, Mike Korenugin. Welcome, Mike. Happy to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you for the intro, Andrew. I'm happy to join this amazing group. I'm joining from Portugal. I'm a director of product here at SE Ranking. I've actually joined just, 4.5? Well, no, it's actually coming to 5 months now, to this incredible team. And I'm really happy to be sharing some of the hidden gems about how you can use SE Ranking to actually elevate your game and speed up your workflow.
Hope everybody's as excited as I am about today's event. Oh, I just want to say that we have not only from Europe, we have from the US, we have Jay Thomas, we have from South Africa, we have from, I was about to say that Ireland is not a part of Europe. My bad. Okay, so just in case you are new to SEO ranking or you haven't heard about us before, we just want to say a couple of words about what we do. So we create powerful data-rich tools for digital agencies and SEO professionals. So we try to include the complete SEO toolkit to cover everything, every imaginable task in digital marketing. And we're constantly expanding our tool set. And we know that accurate data without accurate data SEO doesn't mean anything, and like the numbers that you see are only relevant if they are real. And we try to do our best to constantly refine our algorithms, our formulas, the way we collect data, refine our data sets, and so on, just to make sure that you're getting the best possible information. Collaborative features. Since, as I said at the beginning, we are about creating tools for digital agencies primarily who work within teams with clients. So we have all the tools in there. Oh, sorry, I just noticed that I started a whole discussion about UK and Ireland. I'm so sorry. In terms of the collaborative features, we do our best to give you everything you need to collaborate in teams, share reports, share data, guest links, so on. Just make it as accessible as possible. And so that was the brief intro into today's event, and now we have the agenda. And I'm going to tell you what Mike is going to be sharing with us today. This is a brief rundown of the things he's going to be stopping on. So we're going to be talking about city level rank tracking as opposed to nation level country rank tracking. We're going to be looking at how to find low hanging fruit opportunities using competitive research. We're going to be looking into how to create content briefs using our content marketing tool to create articles for our new keywords that we find. But yeah, it might sound like a whole lot at the very beginning, but Mike is going to gradually go through everything and explain to us what this means, what this process looks like. And just if you have any questions along the way, throw them into the chat. I'll be looking at it to see if you have any questions relevant to the moment. I will ask Mike them if that is the case. If not, we will have a dedicated Q&A at the very end. I just want to remind you that we will send the replay of this event, so you don't have to take any notes. Just sit back, relax, soak it all in, and just ask us questions, because the purpose of this event is just to help you make the most of SEO ranking. If you have any ideas or besides what we're talking about, just throw them into the chat, and we'll be happy to discuss this later on in the Q&A. All right. So once again, thank you for everybody for joining us, and I'm going to give the word to Mike, and I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. All right, Mike, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. That was actually a great intro. I'm going to be starting some of my own slides before we dive into the actual demo. Well, I'm starting with city level tracking and why it matters, right? And how it might just be the next best thing for the stability of your position tracking. You're probably familiar with these situations, right? When you get these sudden changes in ranks for a day and then everything gets back to normal. These spikes, they can happen for a good reason, like an update to Google's algorithms or some efforts on your side or some efforts on the side of your competition. But also, almost nobody experiences Google search on this country level, like, right? The way most of us are tracking our positions. And it's because Google personalizes search results so much, right? It's, if you are in one zip code, you're getting one results. If you're in another, you're likely getting something else. And that is why if you are using like a country level VPN and you try to see like what SE ranking is tracking versus what you're seeing with that VPN, you always see something else, right? You can see actually some significant differences between what we're tracking and the actual search results that you're seeing. Again, this might seem like a no-brainer to many of you, but our statistics show that it is a hidden gem to many, hence me covering this topic today. And if you do set up tracking on the city level or the zip code level, you'd easily spot differences of 10 to 20 positions between individual cities and blended country level search results. And one more thing before we dive into how to set this up. Like, how do you decide if you want to track your ranks on the city level or zip code level? It's very easy. If you're a service area business, like a pizza place, you're probably already doing this, right? Let's be honest. And you might even go deeper than a city level and track your positions per zip code because this is what matters to you. If you are in trades or like if you have a network of barber shops or like physical shops, right? This is where you might want to drill down into individual zip codes and get the most stable results that are actually exactly what your visitors were seeing on search results. Another reason could be that if your projects are in the industries that are location specific often, like healthcare and finance, even if your services are not location specific, Google would still sometimes treat them as such. And another way to determine that is to see if the queries that you're targeting using some more competitor research tools or the keywords that you're tracking, if a lot of these queries, if a lot of these keywords, they're featuring local intent or include keywords like near me, city names, or they feature lots of local pack snippets, that is a very good signal that you might benefit from the city level tracking. And of course, if you are experiencing major fluctuations in ranking, this approach should help a lot. It would not eliminate the the spikes at all or totally, but it will significantly reduce them, and it'll be much closer, if not 100% equal, to what actual searchers on Google are experiencing. Now, anything you want to ask in chat before I dive into the product and show you how to set this up? Feel free to drop anything in the comments, and I'm going to be switching to our instance of SE ranking.
Nothing yet, but I'm hoping everybody is as eager for you to start sharing the screen as I am. Yeah, I already see that you're sharing the screen, Mike. So let's continue.
All right, let me just make this window a bit wider so you can probably see it better. All right, this is one of the projects that I have here. It's a small pet project that I've been working on and off to help people find about like potential diseases with their eyes and like with eye care, because see, I'm wearing glasses. A friend of mine has started this one, so we're just on and off working on this. And I already have some keywords added to the project. And you can see I have this custom column setup, which is actually something I also want to show you. Probably you already know this, but my personal favorite way to look at keywords here in SE Rankings Rank Tracker is to add this dynamics column and have it pinned here. Like if you go into the columns, I have this dynamics column checked, right? And it's also pinned so that I always see that. And if I select larger, broader date, I can see which keywords were changing positions the most, right? If I look at the USA level, for example, this is blended, right? Just something dropped on average by one position, but then I can just look into this and it will show me the difference for the entire date range, right? If I selected a week, it would be a difference for a week. If I selected a month, it would have been a difference for a month. And so this is a very easy way for me to spot the keywords that are for some reason getting out of traction, right? Or just maybe even falling out of index, to see if what should I be focusing on next. Now back to setting up city level tracking. That's actually surprisingly easy. We probably spent just a second doing that. I'm here in my project and rankings detailed, right? Here on the top right, I have this cog icon where I can go into project settings, right here, the top right. I go into my project settings, and this is where I can go into search engines and add another, what we call search engine. You can see I already have a huge list here. I've been playing around with this feature on my own for quite a long time. But let's just do this for the sake of showing how exactly this would work. I go again. This project is focused on an English-speaking audience, primarily USA. So what I can do is I can add, I'm already tracking like some of the Californian cities, and I've been comparing that with California results overall, and those are far more stable. But I also want to add New York here, and this is my this is actually state, yeah, New York. This is my city, right, that I've added here. Now, after I've added a search engine, you can also notice that something is different with this new search engine. It does not have any keywords in there yet. That's because I believe just a month ago, we started rolling out this new feature that lets you have within the same project a different set of keywords for different search engines. So, which is especially helpful if you're working with multilingual websites, for example. And for that very reason, what I need to do is I need to go ahead and add in this case, all of my keywords. This is just a few clicks. I'm selecting all of my keywords and I'm adding them into the search engine that I've just added, right? And they're going to start tracking immediately, something that we're going to check in a second. And just again, for the sake of showing how exactly you do it, let me add another zip code. Maybe anybody wants for me to add any particular zip code. Oh, let me see. What about e-commerce company that wants to build local traffic but also keep national traffic strong? I'm going to be answering that question in a moment. For now, I'll just go ahead and add a zip code. So basically, the way it works is you just start typing your zip code, a number, and it's going to be searching within the same country. That's as easy as that. And I'm adding a search engine. And now it tracks positions for that particular zip code. Now going back to project, I can see that here's my New York tracking, right? I've just added it, and I have all of my positions here tracking. Pretty much, that's all I wanted to show you with regards to local tracking. This is something that we're seeing helped a lot of people with reducing these kind of spikes, because Google's rank tracking is far more stable on a lower level, essentially on the zip code level, on the city level. Now, let me take a look at that question.
Yeah, let's just bring it up on the screen. So what about e-commerce companies that want to build local traffic but also want to keep national traffic strong?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. What we've worked on with a few of our customers who are like exactly an e-commerce company, they have like 80,000 items on their website, right? That they for each one they want to track positions. So that's a lot of them, a lot of different positions, a lot of keywords to track. So what they're doing is they still track the blended country level, but this country level tracking, they're using this more of as a North Star metric, where it's more like, okay, it's generally improving, that's good, but it's not as actionable, right? And then they also, what they do is they would have if you select cities, like they're operating in the United States, so they take their most important cities where they see the most orders and they track them. And for some of them, they're tracking not all of the products, but like out of the 80,000 catalog, they're tracking 15, 20,000, sometimes 5,000, just to see how individual cities are doing, if they're improving there or if something is happening on that level. Because the country level does not tell you if you have an issue in a particular region, right? And this will do.
All right, I appreciate your answer, Mike. If you have any other questions, throw them into the chat, and we'll be moving on to with our presentation.
Yep, in just a second. Now, moving on from this demo of how we track keywords per city or per zip code to quickly finding the easy keywords, or the way we call them internally is low-hanging fruit keywords. And it's basically, when you do it, is all the time, right? What I hear from our customers is some of them actually do this exercise every week or every 2 weeks, and some take as long as like every half a year. They would build like a huge list of keywords that they would diligently be going through day after day, month after month. So again, your frequency may vary, but pretty much everybody still needs this. With regards to like high frequency needs for when you want to use something like our competitive research tool to find the keywords that are like low-hanging fruit keywords is like if you're a freelancer or you represent an agency, it's a very quick way to find areas where you can drive gains for a customer relatively easily, relatively quickly. Obviously, as I was saying, when you're just routinely expanding your semantics, or when looking for ideas for new blog posts to slowly build towards a more competitive keyword, as well as when looking to try to rank for a particular SERP feature, like AI overviews, images, like people also ask, lots of others, like we track almost all of them. Since SERP features are not so prominent and often, they're not as difficult to track against, so to rank against, and it's typically way easier to gain traction with them compared to your regular blue links. Or maybe if you have a customer who is really all about like chasing their appearance in AI overview, that's a good tool for you to find the keywords to showcase that and to build towards that. So before we dive into like how we do that, this is going to be a more meaty demo part, right? We're going to be working with actual competitive research tool and like doing this in more detail. I just want to quickly highlight the exact keywords filters that we're going to be using that will let you tap into this huge database of ours. It's more than 300 million keywords. I'm thinking it's approaching 350 million right now. So these are some of my favorite filters. There are actually more. But group number one that I use like pretty much all the time is keyword difficulty, position, and search volume. It's probably something that all of you are using. Again, depending on domain rank, I'm just picking my keyword difficulty that I'm ready to work with, positions that are actually easy to move from like second page to first page, and search volume, just something that makes sense for me. I'm typically using include and exclude filters to find the right keywords especially for my blog posts, for the content that we're creating. And sometimes I'm using these extra filters of search intent and SERP features. Specifically, like if I'm working for more like a product solutions pages, that'll be my commercial keywords. If I'm working on a blog post, I'm looking mostly for informational keywords. And SERP features are just telling me what kind of content I might be looking to include, although we have a separate tool that actually does an even better job at that. All right, let's see how that works. Now, we're back in the tool. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Now,
you can see, but can you make it a bit wider if that's an option?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me do that.
Awesome. Great.
Would that work?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks.
Okay. So here, where I'm starting is seeing right now I'm in projects. I'm going into research tools and into competitive research specifically. Competitive research is, well, it's actually amazing for something that I've just been describing, like finding low-hanging fruit keywords. And right now I'm going to be working with one of my projects, which is iFitnessFit. It's, as I've been saying, it's just a project about eye care, about like exercises and how you can be aware of your eye health. So I've added that. There's some obviously basic information right here up top. You can see this project obviously with this amount of traffic and the slow of a domain trust, right? But what I'm looking for specifically, well, before I go into the keywords, actually, what I also want to show you is, yeah, here and now I'm looking at the overall domain and everything that's included here. But also sometimes what I see our customers need and something that's overlooked is I can look at just individual URL, like a particular page at SE ranking, and look at just what kind of keywords it's ranking for, who's competing who it's competing with for those keywords and all that. And again, another tricky request that we're getting sometimes is people are just not sure how to look at just at a subdomain. This is the option that you want, right? You want to click the domain and then you want to just paste in that subdomain. In that case, you're getting an analysis for the subdomain. Right now, we're going to be working with a full domain, but I just wanted to highlight this because, again, this is often overlooked, and we're getting some of the questions from our customers. Okay, how do I do this? This is how. Okay, back to this iFitness domain. The reason we're here today is actually organic keywords. The way I can access them is through my left side panel right here, organic traffic research, or from this overview page here at the bottom, I have this organic keyword research with detailed report, and that's where I'm going. Here, what I care about is the keywords that I'm already ranking for, but not all of them. As I was saying, there are all of these filters that I might want to use. For me, what matters, you've seen this domain rank of -9. So I'm only working with keywords that are like below 20 difficulty to start working on something. That's the way for me to get my low-hanging fruit keywords. And in terms of position, again, I'd love the keywords to be like on the second page somewhere. There's probably not going to be way too many of them. And something that has at least 50 of search volume. For a lot of other projects, you'd be looking at something like 200 plus. But for me, with the number of keywords that I'm ranking for right now, this is probably where I end up. But the beauty of what I wanted to show you is not that you can just use these filters to filter down to what you need, but that if you have set up the filters the way you want them, you can actually save them. You can save this one for, I'd call it like low domain rank, low-hanging fruit keywords, right? This is just my coding that probably only I will understand a week later, nobody else. But this is a preset for me. So once I've saved that, even if I open the same or another competitive research from scratch, I go into presets, I apply it, that's it. All of the filters are applied immediately, which saves me, quite frankly, some time and headache, just remembering like what are my typical filters. All right, with that out of the way, now I have this list of keywords that I want to be working on, right? Since I'm already ranking, I probably have some content. And since there are so few of them, I'll just add all of them to basically to work in progress to see if I can rank even better, to move from the second page to the first page. The way I do this is there are essentially 3 ways to work with keywords. It really depends on your workflow. Some customers just prefer to go ahead and export these out into a CSV or an Excel and then put them into a Google Sheet with all the rest of the keywords into their content plan. That's one way to do it. That's not the way I'm going to do it today. Another way to do it is just select all the keywords, and again, see this Use Keywords button. I can just add this to a project, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be adding this to my iFitness project, to all of the search engines, and in this case, yeah, I'll just add them to the group that I call newly added required content. This one I'll just review later. I can do this through the project, so these are being tracked daily immediately. Or another way for me to do it, and it's something that a lot of people actually do, is I would go and add them to a content manager list. I'll create a list of keywords that I'm going to be working on this month. I'll just call it My Fitness, November 24. And and I'll just save them there. There it is. So I've saved the keywords into the keyword manager for future analysis. But since right now the list of keywords is so narrow, I don't really like these topics. So there's one more feature that I want to show you that is especially useful when you have these bigger competitors that you can, well, steal like a proper artist from, right? So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be looking into this competitors tab at the top. It shows me my my organic search competitors. And when I look at them, a few of them are actually very familiar. This Healthline, for example, this one is good. I know them for sure, but I could have actually also pressed this button to go and check that, like either press on the name and do a full analysis on this website, or click here and look, just watch what content they actually are posting. But I already know that this is the website I'm interested in. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the competitor comparison tool here. That what it does is it compares how different the keywords are, right? You can see that my website is practically invisible compared to this behemoth of a website, but it doesn't matter. What I care about is they have similar intent. They're working a lot of similar keywords. So I'm going to be looking into the missing keywords, the ones that I'm not tracking for, although in this case, this is the majority of their keywords. And since my topic is I'm going to be adding this I word here to further narrow down the list. And yeah, they have a huge domain rank. They can rank for keywords with really high difficulty. So again, I'm going to be applying the same thing. I'm going to be saying the difficulty should be low. The search volume, I'm not going to be competing for keywords with like more than 1,000 search volume at this point yet. So there they are. These are probably the keywords that I might be able to work with. Let me see what we've got here. Since I'm looking for more of a, let me just sort this down by difficulty, but ascending, so I can look at the easiest keywords possible.
We actually have a question that I think is relevant to this moment.
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
Can we exclude all SERP features?
Well, great question. Unfortunately, I don't think we can exclude features. We can just include them, but this is a great request. Rasmus, if you want the old competitive research style, can you maybe elaborate what your use case would be? Why would you want to exclude a particular SERP feature? So I'd absolutely love to hear more about like your use case, what you're trying to achieve with that. And as long as I do, we'll be able to build it.
Great. All right, Rasmus, let us know what your thoughts are.
While you're typing, I'm going to continue with a demo, and I'm going to be responding to what you say. Okay, let's see. Yeah, regarding the SERP features, again, when I'm working on the blog posts, I absolutely love making sure that the keywords that I've selected, they actually have the people also ask feature. It's frequent with a lot of keywords, but for blog posts, I find that it's often easy to rank for something like this. Okay, now we've narrowed this down. Looks like there's this keyword that seems like a great candidate for an article, right? Can a sinus infection cause pink eye? That sounds amazing to me. So we're going to be moving on with that, and we're going to be creating content with that, and we're going to be talking about how you can use our content editor to create content briefs that your in-house or freelance copywriters can rely on to build content right within the tool. So for now, I'll just start the article analysis, and then what we can do next is we can try to repeat the same process for one of your websites. See like what we can find for you. Let me know what you'd like to do. I'm just going to start this analysis. I'm not adding much more info, and we're going to be doing this together in a moment.
I just want to give it a bit more of a voice to what you just said. So if anybody wants us to do something live, you're welcome to share with us your website, or like a website, and we'll just give you a keyword opportunity. We'll find a good keyword opportunity and let you know how to create a piece of content using that information. So just, if you have a business, just let us know what that website is and we'll just do it live.
Yeah. So just to reiterate what I was just showing, there are a few hidden gems in the platform as far as like how you can streamline your workflow. Number one is saving the presets of filters. I know this saves a ton of time to a lot of folks, but not too many of our users are actually familiar with this feature. That's number one. And number two is competitor comparison. Finding the keywords that might be relevant for you and to your project that you are not currently ranking for. Okay, let's see. Rasmus has an update.
Yeah, let's bring it up on the screen. So say we tell a customer they are ranking in second place on an important keyword, but in reality they are just ranking on a picture or something like that. Do you understand?
Oh, say we tell a customer they're ranking in second place or an important keyword, but in reality they're just ranking on the picture or something. Yeah, I get that. So your ask is you want to. Now I see. So there's an easy way to see like how the keyword is ranking. Just a moment. I don't think you can exclude it, but you can see it. Just a moment. Okay. Let's pull this up. Here's our organic traffic research. See, the position here, if it's just a plain number in the competitive research, this means that you're ranking in blue links. But then I don't think this website will have much of that. Let me just go ahead and go with something like SE Rankings website. And what we're going to do here, see, this is number one, but then there's also this site links. This means that, we are in the site links, the number one in site links. And it's the same. Let's go for maybe other features. Again, site links. So basically, if you have an icon right here, this means that this position is within a SERP feature. I hope that makes sense.
So you mean there's no dynamics along with that number, right? That means that it's a SERP feature.
Well, if there's an icon, both an icon and a position, that means that, you are.
Can you zoom in on the icon specifically, just to show the people?
Yeah. Let me just go back to the previous page. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
We are, though, at the same time, with regards to what you're saying, we are considering. Well, you're probably familiar with our AI. Let me look into a different project with our AI results tracker, right? What that does is it does the tracking in a SERP feature in AIO, right? Let me just quickly filter that. So this one does the tracking in AIO. And if you are, I'll just do that. So we are thinking of expanding this kind of advanced tracking for SERP features with more features that you can track separately. Basically, your positions in images, your positions in products, and in other feature snippets of Google. If that's what you're referring to. Yeah. So being able to exclude all the SERP features to get the pure blue link positions, like the old version of competitive research. Okay. Yeah. This is actually something that we're debating on internally. This is a good piece of feedback. Thank you. Yeah. We we'll definitely work on improving competitive research over the next year. We are improving it now, and we're going to continue investing it throughout the years and throughout 2025. So this is super valuable feedback. And to anyone who's on this call, like if you go into the app, you always have this feedback button at the top right. I assure you, our product team reads all of these. We might not be responding to you, but we'll read every single one of these. And we're actually analyzing them at scale, and this is a big factor in making decisions into which area to invest into, just so you know.
Yeah, while you were saying that, we got another person with the same suggestion, just to have the opportunity to do classic style competitive research, with just focusing on the blue links. Thank you, Stefan and Rasmus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving into the content and preparing content briefs, right? A lot of our users know that we have this advanced AI writer, right? That lets you basically create the article draft or maybe even the entire article right away. But very few of them rely on us for briefs, right? So in this case, what I did is I started creating an article for the keyword that we've just found, right? Can a sinus infection cause pink eye? And right out of the gate, you can see there are 3 very prominent areas here, very prominent actions that we're asking you to consider, right? Number 1 is, I'm gonna talk about this. These in the middle is the brief. It lets you dive deep into the brief, set it up, decide what are the competitors, and we're going to be doing that together now, and specify all the detail of the soon-to-be article for somebody who's going to be writing that, maybe even for yourself. Then in the middle, there are these options to generate an article in one click, or go through the AI writer wizard that will help you generate this article. We are not going to be focusing on these 2 today, because that's something that you should be able to leverage on your own. It's just really generate in one click is just that. You click and it's there, right? And with the AI writer, you're just giving some suggestions to our AI, and it will help you create the content. What we're going to be focusing on now is the brief setup, right? This is how most people work. What will happen is you open the brief setup, and you can pick which competitors you believe are relevant to this article, right? You can, in this case, most of them appear very relevant to me, but I'll just, for the sake of it, I'll just show that, yeah, you can exclude some, and you can actually load more, and you can load more and see if you want to replace some of these for your content writer to take notes from these competitors, right? While this is loading, I'm going to be covering a few other pieces. There are also content parameters, right? These are like the number of words, the number of headings that you want to include, the number of paragraphs, and the number of images. And as you can see, these checkboxes here, they're saying that it will affect the brief progress score. So if I untick this, it means that your content writer won't have to consider the number of paragraphs, right? But they'll still have to consider the number of headings. Now, what happens next is we have this huge list of keywords that seem to be relevant that we're going to be suggesting your writer to use. And what you can do is you can go ahead and like remove some that you think are relevant, like, hey, eyes, yeah, absolutely, they're going to be including eyes, right? There's infection. Yeah, we're talking about infection. I'm not going to be mentioning like these super broad keywords, for example, for this blog post, right? So this is what I can do, and I can search these keywords on my own if I want to. Like I can go into, is there like a how-to keyword? Yeah, it seems like there's none, but maybe a symptom of some symptom.
Yeah, but
is not
you can
exactly
always
yeah.
add your own keyword if you don't have one, like how to, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was just hoping that I'll find something that I'd be looking into. There are obviously 400 keywords that we're suggesting. And yeah, as Andrew has mentioned, you can add your own manually. Again, there are some suggestions for cross-linking, with maybe linking to other more authoritative websites. This is something that might help get some credibility. And the questions from people also ask, and what kind of questions your competition is using in their headings.
Could we focus on the terms to use in a bit more detail? Because there's like a long table and there's loads of data in it that is actually you can analyze right now in the on this page. Because it's just not just a list of keywords with their search volumes. We also show you how many times a competitor has used it and which areas of the page. So just to give you an idea of the importance of these
Yeah.
keywords with regard to competitors.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding Andrew. Yeah. As Andrew mentioned, this is not just a list of keywords. It contains pretty much all the information, or we expect that it should be containing all the information that you might care about, right? It's the search volume, it's the keyword difficulty, it's the recommended count, right? This is especially useful for the writer. And there's the typical count for how many times the term appears on the page among the selected competitors, right? And there's the density. So all of these parameters should be able to let you make a very informed decision on what kind of keywords you might push your content writer to include. I know it really depends on your style. Some SEO professionals just go ahead and they don't care about this much. They say, "Hey, I love my content writers to go really creative." Others are really more process driven, more research driven, and they go ahead and they pick almost everything on their own. So this tool is supposed to let you do just that. And here you can again quickly look at just the ones that are selected and not in the entire list of keywords. All right. And the last piece that I wanted to highlight is not the content structure, but the notes, right? These are notes for your copywriter, right? I'm just going to say, hey, Megan, can you make sure we're also mentioning that recent release here, right? So once I'm finished with the brief, what's going to happen is right here in the editor, I will be able to see everything that I've selected on the right side panel, right? There's the content score that is, even if you don't use our brief settings and you don't customize it, you can just rely on what we suggest to use as the best settings to create an article, or you can go ahead and rely on your own brief progress. And if you have customized your brief, this is going to be the default tab, right? The way it's going to work is once you have set up the brief, what you can do next is you can either export it, although maybe that's not the easiest way to collaborate, or you can simply share this article and share the link with the person who's supposed to be writing that content, whether it's a freelancer or an in-house writer. It's as easy as just giving them the link, and they have the access to all the brief details, and they see it right where they create this content. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. Now I just like to go and take another look at the questions and see if we can cover some of the burning questions for our audience.
What I wanted you to do is, could you go back to the screen and share it again? And I wanted you to go through the content score. Like, you can click on the keywords just to find more ideas. For example,
Absolutely,
you created the brief. The SEO expert created the brief. Now the content, the copywriter is in this area specifically, so that the copywriter doesn't have to always go back and forth to the content brief. They can see all the information here. So, for example, if you just click on a keyword and a heading, just one of the keywords, it will just show you use examples where the competitors use it.
Yeah, are you referring to this one? So, like adding a keyword?
Yeah, it's here, or it's under terms to use. It's more specific there.
Yeah.
If you just scroll a bit lower and just click on one of the keywords, and it's supposed to expand it.
Yeah. No, just
No,
what happens is when I click on it,
there you go.
It'll just add right there. Yeah, and here.
Yeah, you can.
Is that what you're?
Yeah. See specifically. So this is because I used to be a copywriter full time, and this is what I would use to sort of guide me. I wouldn't go to the content brief because it's just always just clicking back and forth. You just get lost. You want to see everything on one page. And this allows me to do that. I can just get inspired on where this difficult keyword needs to be placed so that it's so that the audience reacts to it properly. So just a lot of information that just clicking is a very good advice in SEO ranking. Just click on a lot of things, and there's a lot of tool tips for everything. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to add specifically for this regard, because I understand how difficult it is to just always switch back and forth to see what am I supposed to be doing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for saving the day. This is a great example, again, to enable your copywriters or freelance writers to find the examples of usage of these keywords by their competition and find the terms and include the terms into the content.
Awesome. So yeah, we have a couple of questions in the chat. One is, I was a bit starstruck. I thought this was Captain America. If in case it is, welcome.
Why don't you use the report feature to do that? Is that possible? To do what exactly? Can you?
It was right after when we were talking about competitive research, the blue links. Just is there a way to hide all the SERP features in the report once we present data to our clients?
Is there a way to hide all the SERP features in the report? That might just be possible, actually. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that on the spot, but we definitely have a ton of customizations there. Let me go and see if I can do that.
What I can tell you is we've made enough noise today to we're going to transfer this information to our development team for sure, because I think it's like a great opportunity to include all SERP features, but there's no opportunity to exclude them and just focus on, so basically the stuff that we've been talking about. Let's see.
Yeah, Rasmus, thank you for sharing that note on the local keyword tracking. That's actually something that we've heard from quite a few customers who we've worked on this. Like, what we've discovered, that some of them just for no reason had issues in certain locations where they thought they should be doing great, and then they were able to find out the reasons, and in a month they were ranking much better in like some of the key cities. And yeah, as you're saying, sometimes it's actually a good surprise and a pleasant surprise, which is even better.
We also have another statement from Rasmus. I'm not going to bring it up on the screen, but we're definitely considering all of this. We have a question from Zoe. When we looked at this, there were so many keyword opportunities on for an article. Does this factor in keyword packing when giving recommendations?
Does this factor in keyword packing? Like, I'm not sure that I fully understand, but what I'll try to answer, right? It does look at different keywords, right, and related keywords when suggesting that. But if you have an idea for including specific keywords right away into the analysis to create the brief, you can actually go ahead and at the very beginning of creating an article, introduce a list of keywords that you want to be included. And I'm not sure if I fully answered your question. We'll try to follow up with you.
Rephrase that. That'd be great, because what I can add is that when you're creating a new article, you can specify a couple of words. So it's not only one. It can be up to 5 keywords, search queries that you can specify in there. That will sort of already expand your the article's topic. So if you just say, I don't know, SEO optimized text, AI generated text, best practices on AI creation, something like that, it will just sort of take that all into account and know that you want to create a text that takes into account creating SEO optimized texts that are generated by AI that have best practices included in them. So but maybe that was not specifically what Zoe was referring to. Zoe, if we didn't understand you, please let us know. Well, another thought that I have for what Zoe might have meant is that in the content marketing tool, we have the content idea finder. So you can just enter one single keyword in there, and it will generate a cloud, or I'm not sure if that's how we call it. I think it's like a cloud of ideas. It's a chart that shows you just all the relevant keywords, and you just click through just to see which ones. But this is all more research, because SEO ranking allows you to do very extensive, detailed research. Plus, we give you the opportunity just to skip everything and generate stuff. So it just depends on what your habits are, how much time you have to spend on this. So yeah, we try to cover all bases with this regard.
Yep, I see the question about subfolders. Are you referring to, let's say, I don't know, SE ranking / blog / this kind of performance assessment, right?
Yeah, while Ken is specifying that, let's take another question from Bel Angelo. Can we
Yeah,
also
that is.
revise existing content to include the suggested keywords using the content writing feature?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
you're like, it's almost like you're cueing us to actually to show off. Okay, yeah, that's definitely something that we can do, and that you can do. If you go into this new content right here, or if you have found a keyword that you want to optimize for, there's this write new briefing article, or there's optimize existing content, right? And in the optimization of existing content, again, you can still have this a new primary content, right? Or new primary keyword that you want to include, and that will help you optimize the article. And then within that, you can go into the brief, similarly to how I just went into the brief here, or into the content score setup here, and pick the terms that you think you should be using, right? Similarly to what I was just referring to here in the terms, you can add these extra terms to include, so you can target those extra keywords.
All right, let's continue with the question that Ken had. Ken had a specification, so they specified
Yeah.
that yes, they meant site performance by subfolders for large websites where we have millions of pages.
Yeah, I don't think we support that right now. Let me think about it really quickly. The URL is probably not going to do just that. I think it's going to be doing a single page, but let me still double check that. Just a moment.
So the way I understand it is each subfolder would have its own score, basically, right? I'm not sure we have that.
Yeah, I don't think we have that exactly in this way.
But either way, Ken, if you have the time, it would be really good if you reached out to our support team and just specified exactly what your goal is with this, and yeah, how you usually approach this process, and we'll definitely take into account and add it to our roadmap. Yeah, you have the link to our support team in the chat. Thank you either way
Yeah,
for engaging with us, and sorry for taking over this. We have another clarification from Zoe because we started a couple of questions asking for clarification. So Zoe specified, yeah, thank you. Google will rank you lower if you are packing too many keywords into an article. So I was wondering if the AI content suggestion factors that in, or if we need to make that as a human choice.
Yeah, absolutely. What it does is it suggests like it suggests the number of keywords, suggests the number of headings. These headings are typically including keywords, right? So headings is also one of the big ways we are limiting the number of keywords. And then the terms below are also like, once you're using them, you're saturating the number that you're going to be using, and your content score is going to start decreasing once you have too many of those. So that is definitely factored in, and it's the same for the volume of content, like the amount of symbols that you have. What we're seeing is that in some niches, so depending on the niche, in some niches, we're suggesting that you write more content than some of your competitors, and in others, we're suggesting to have fewer symbols.
Yeah, what I can say here is that in addition to the stuff that Mike has told us about the content editor, there's also a section that helps you make sure that the text is readable. It doesn't have a lot of stop words, and it just sort of brings up everything on the screen, just showing you if you have any grammatical or punctuation mistakes. So that also is taken into account. The Flesh readability score is in there, so you just can't cram in 1,000 keywords just one by one. Everybody will understand that this is wrong. This was like 15 years ago. This could have been the case. You had white text on a white background, which just sort of fooled everybody. But yeah, this is not a normal practices anymore. All
Yeah,
right.
in
So
that regard, what we're also looking into is the uniqueness of content, the repetition of content across your own different pages, right? That's something that we're considering for the future to enable you to write even better content, and to consider like just the amount of content that is unique to this particular page and not just overall. I see another question from Rasmus on the local levels of search in the keyword research. Hot topic. So we are definitely going to make significant investments into our data quality even further in 2025, both in keyword research and in competitive research, and in terms of what kind of information we're providing in general. I am not yet ready to share the specific plans, as this is something that we are currently solidifying, right? And your feedback here is super helpful. I strongly advise you to go into the product and suggest that live feedback right there. This is something that's going to be super helpful. So yes, this is something that we're considering, but it's not yet set in stone.
Thank you, Mike. Rasmus has another idea about doing keyword research on a local level. So, for example, you see what the keyword volume is.
Yeah, that's what I was answering, actually.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That happens.
Yeah, because you just jumped into the question before we even saw it. Sorry. And another question we have is with regard to other languages besides English and the content editor. So we actually had a webinar in Dutch 3 days ago, and our partner who hosts that webinar says that he has been using it and he's pretty satisfied with the results. From our end, this is something. So like, our content editor takes a language large, so it has a powerful chatbot basically in it, but plus we have a lot of SEO data. So the chatbot, if the chatbot is able to speak in a language, then it is supported in its ranking. But in terms of creating an article from scratch, we've only focused on making sure that the English language articles are perfect. And now we're switching over to Spanish, French, and just gradually going to take make sure that every language is getting the right results with our tools. So at the moment, we can only verify that the English language is supported in our tools, but you're welcome to explore other languages. Yeah, just like I said, the Dutch language, that's the feedback from our partner, who has been using it. So yeah, this is something that we're always investing in, because we obviously know that not everybody is working purely with the US and English. So we want to give you an opportunity to be as local as you can get in your own country. All right.
Yeah, thank you for that, Andrew. And yeah, as Andrew said, English is our primary. That's when we were launched first, and then we made some optimizations that are specific to French and Spanish. I think Dutch a bit too, but it's still not as great as English. It's relatively good, so you can get very good results, but sometimes it might not be as great as we would like it to be. And in other languages is not something that we've truly optimized for yet. But for next year, we are looking into providing a much better service and data quality, again, for select countries in the EU, specifically the DACH region, right? The Spain, France. So yeah, expect more next year on this.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you. We have another statement from Luke. With your local rankings module, are you looking into showing the scores of other business competitors within your area, like other software currently does? So in the local marketing tool, you can already do that. So this was not one of the tools that we were focusing on today, but in the local marketing tool, you can set up a location, add a business using your Google business profile, specify it on a map, start tracking keywords in it, and you will know exactly how keywords are ranking on a street level. So you can already do that. And when you click on that to see how you are ranking, you can get a SERP of your local competitors. It's just that it's not. It's going to take a couple of minutes to open this up, but we're actually right now rolling out the video on the local marketing tool update. So if you just check back on our YouTube channel, maybe early next week, we should have it up there, and you can explore how to keep track of your competitors in local area if you have a service area business, or if you have just a brick and mortar store. So that is also in there. We were just specifically focusing on a couple of areas that we thought people were sort of missing out on.
Yeah, for other businesses, as Andrew said, it's a bit limited, right? You have to dive a bit deeper to compare your like score overall with other businesses that you're technically competing with. We don't have like a tool that makes it like super easy to do that. But we are continuing to invest into local marketing this quarter. You're going to see more releases happening this quarter with some review management improvements, and there's going to be improvements to reporting on local marketing. We're going to be polishing a lot of the user experiences that will hopefully lead to much easier discovery of solutions like this one in the future.
Yeah, great. I was actually about to show you guys how to do the local marketing, how to find your local competitors, because yeah, we actually ran out of time, but I really want to answer your question. So let's just bear with me 1 second. I'll just share my screen. Let me select, yeah, let me just share the entire screen. I have nothing to hide. So yeah, here is the local rankings. Let's go to local rankings to look at this tool. And here we have a couple of points that we're tracking. We're tracking also a grid of rankings. And once we click over here, for example, a keyword is ranking this position for the business that we are tracking, which is in the UK, Chef Locksmith. I'll just click on this, and I'll just click on this. And here you see your local competitors for this specific keyword on this specific day. So you see yeah, everything is in here. And yeah, this gives you an opportunity to see what they're doing. You can click here to investigate them. Yeah, so it's in here. But if you have any other suggestions, we'll be happy to, we'll be happy to, we'll be happy to hear your thoughts and continue expanding our tools, because the best part of SEO ranking that I love is that we are driven by your suggestions. So we obviously look at what is happening in the market, but we always reach out to you, go into detailed talks just to find out what is specific issue that you have. Yeah, the map is in the local marketing tool under local rankings. You have to set it up. You have to add a business, set it up. Yeah, all the information that you were not able to see here specifically, you will be able to find on our YouTube channel, in the Academy, SEO Ranking Academy. So we have loads of materials. Yeah, Mike is just showing it right now. So you have to set it up, add a business. Yeah, this is the demo location. I'm not sure if it's going to have any.
Yeah, the demo location might not have all the content, but this is where you find it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Stefan. So yeah, if you can't find it, just refer to our loads of information like YouTube, our help center. Reach out to our support team if you can't find it still, but it is in there. Maybe you.
All right, I wonder whose internet that is. Anyway, I think this is a great time to end this. Oh, okay, Andrew's back online.
I'm getting a bad connection. Anyway, all right. So thank you everybody for your engagement with us, for your questions, for your ideas, for your thoughts. I wanted to let you know that in about a month's time, we're going to have another workshop where we're just going to be reviewing our year. And this is another opportunity for you to come in, ask more questions about the tools that we've rolled out, and you'll be able to hear the thoughts, the plans that we have for next year. Yeah, so check out back on our website. We usually have banners that announce all the new events that we host. So just check back, because we're going to be having an event in about a month's time. All right, let me do the outro. Thank you for everybody. Yeah, let me do the outro. And in case you don't have access to SEO ranking, or you have, I don't know, maybe just expired for some reason, we have giving you an opportunity to take advantage of the expanded free trial, which includes a lot more data and a lot more tools. So be sure to try that out. In case you are going to be using your business email, you will get even a lot more benefits from that, because yeah, after all, we're trying to not to target, but to help specifically businesses, digital marketing agencies, professionals. So if you have a business, that will really help us out just to create even more better stuff for you. Another thing that I wanted to say is that scan that QR code, join our community where we announce everything that we roll out before everybody else sees it. giveaways. You have an opportunity to chat with your peers to talk about SEO and SEO ranking. So be sure to do that. It is a growing community. Also, if you saw anything that just went over your head, or you were overwhelmed with all the SEO language that you've been hearing for the past hour, you're welcome to explore the agency catalog that we have, which features a lot of vetted agencies from all over the world who take care of different services with regard to digital marketing. So you're welcome to explore that list and find the perfect partner in case you are struggling with just for any issue, for any reason you don't have the time or something like that. And let's see, we also have the Do Follow podcast. So if you're on a commute, you're welcome to just catch up on everything, all the developments happening in the SEO world. We invite experts and talk with them on a specific topic with regard to SEO. So make sure to check that out. It's a growing library of episodes. And lastly, like I said, we have a lot of materials on our YouTube channel. We post a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So you're welcome to follow us there. We actually encourage you to follow us there so you know about all this stuff that we're rolling out. And we are rolling out stuff basically every 2 weeks. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. And I want to thank everybody for joining us, for being here. Thank you, Mike. And thank you for everybody who joined the chat and engaged with us. And looking forward to hearing more feedback about SEO ranking and making the tools even more better for you. All right. Take care, everybody.